Garyana, you in the middle or you all the way over? Okay. All right, Nick, tell me why.
Because I just don't think I should have to make the sacrifice. There's plenty of other people, and I have to stay home and protect my family, work for them, not go off and try to be a hero.
Okay. Dominique?
I've never thought about being in a war, so I don't think I would.
Well, it wouldn't necessarily even mean that you had to be in a war. It could just mean some kind of big sacrifice that you'd have to make, like personal sacrifice, something that would affect you or your family. Still disagree? Okay. Noor, what do you say?
I agree because I would be fighting for my family and the people I love. So yeah, and like all the innocent people. So.
Okay, Jennifer, what about you?
Well, since the war like affects our country, everyone in our country, we all but we should show that we care for our country and like, be in the war if anything just happens to happen.
Okay, Will, what do you say?
I think that it's kind of like my duty to serve my country, just because, I mean, like, I'm an American citizen, and if we go to war and I'm drafted, like, if it's a situation where we have to be drafted, I'm not gonna be able to say no. And so I would rather, like, be for that than be against it.
Okay, Janae?
If it was somebody else in the situation, I would want them to protect the country, so I would probably do the same thing.
Okay, all right, thanks guys. Americans should be prepared to make great sacrifices to preserve their freedom and protect the freedom and rights of other countries. Agree, disagree? Again, Americans should be prepared to make great sacrifices to preserve their freedom and protect the freedom and rights of other countries. Agree, disagree? Still same, huh? Okay, so you know how sometimes we align ourselves with other countries and we go fight for them for certain situations? Like that. Okay, that's the latter part of the question. All right, Garyana, I noticed that you moved. Do you want to say why?
Yes, because I believe that freedom is very important. Like, I think everybody should have like their own rights, have their freedom and what they believe in. So that's the reason why.
Okay, and Lauren, you switched sides. Why?
Well, I'm kind of confused on the question, but if it's saying that we have to fight for other countries, I don't want to fight for any other country. I think I'll just sacrifice for my own.
Okay, to keep it here, keep it local, not go out abroad. Okay, that's fair. All right, finally, there are certain amounts of money that can pay for an injustice. So if you agree or believe that there are certain amounts of money that can pay for an injustice, you stay on this side. If you think that that's not true, you come on over here. Disagree. Huh. Okay, I'll say it one more time. So there are certain amounts of money that can pay for an injustice. So somebody does you wrong and they say, well, I'm sorry, let me compensate you for it. I'll give you $500 for, calling you a bad name or something like that. That's just an example, but there are bigger ones, obviously. Really? Everybody thinks that there are no amounts of money that can pay for an injustice? Henry, why do you say?
It's just wrong for me. I think it's just wrong that you can pay for what you did. You should be punished.
Sage?
I think some things like maybe a car wreck could be paid with money, but like some injustices like maybe killing somebody, I believe definitely couldn't be paid for.
Okay, anybody else want to volunteer? Sedarius?
Well, one thing I personally believe is it's not morally correct. You've probably taken something that is of value to that person away from them, and money can't really buy your happiness, can't really replace anything that you just lost, that you hold near dear to your heart.
Okay. Darius, you want to add to that?
Yeah, because I don't think that, no, I don't think so, because say for example, if someone is devastated or something that happened, I don't think they should be able to reward them, not reward them, but pay them money to make up for it, because I don't think money can buy someone happiness.
Okay, all right, good, thank you guys. You can have a seat. All right, so you guys remember the essay that we read yesterday, right? Uprooting of a Japanese American Family. Okay, all right, so we also kind of covered some of the nonfiction terminology that goes along with that. So one of the things that we were talking about was different types of writing or different purposes for writing: narration, description, persuasion, exposition, right? Explaining something, describing something. Now, did you think that her narrative was pretty descriptive? Did you guys think in general? Yeah, it was very, like, you could taste the sausages when she was talking about them putting the stuff on the, plates with their fingers and all that kind of stuff, the bread and the potatoes and ugh, right? And the washrooms and the lavatories and all that kind of stuff, right? All right, so, but if you think about it as a persuasion, you can kind of maybe consider it to be persuasive. If it is a persuasion, what is she trying to persuade us to believe or to think?
She wants, the author wants us, she's trying to persuade us and trying to get the full image in our heads how bad her experiences and like just how bad the conditions are and what she's going through.
Okay, anybody else? What is she trying to persuade us of? If it is a persuasive essay, persuasive memoir, anything like that. There's persuasion in it. Erica.
You were like more of us of her showing us what happened when she was there, like show us what actually happened and what she had to go through in her family and all that.
Okay, did you catch the irony at the end of the memoir? What was the irony, Poom?
She won't know if her dad's alive until he actually comes to meet the family.
Right. She didn't know if her dad was alive, but what else is ironic about that? It was situational irony, right? What was ironic about the fact that her dad was not with them? It was her mother and her family in the stalls and all that kind of stuff. What was more ironic about it? Anybody want to help them out? Where was her dad?
In Montana.
In Montana, where?
At a reservation, I think, somewhere.
He was in jail, right? He got taken away because he was questioned as a suspect, right? So the irony is, like, he got released and he got pardoned, but he was going where? Was he going home? No, he wasn't going back home. He was going back to the camp with them. So the ironic situation is, in either place, was he free or was he home? No, he was imprisoned in either place, right? So she doesn't really hard hit at that topic. Does she really like go hard at it and say, this is such a bad thing? Does she really like make us feel that way? Like it was such an injustice? She kind of hints at it here and there, but it's more just like putting out the information. Did you guys feel that? Did you think that when you were reading it yesterday? Okay. What is the tone? That kind of leads us to the next. So tone, again, is attitude words. Things that, if you can describe an attitude with this, you can describe tone with this. So there he is.
Sad and depressing. Not as gloomy or as melancholy as the stories of Edgar Allan Poe, but sad and just kind of melancholy a little bit.
You thought it was sad? Okay, why?
Because of her descriptive words and descriptive things that she said. Things, how the descriptions, how she described things, like they had to struggle for water, they had to struggle just to wash their clothes, for food. It was all very depressing.
Okay, you thought